Last year, the 7th grade had 350 students. This year, the number decreased by 36%. How many students are there in this year's 7th grade? So let's write these bits of information down first. So last year, the number of students was 350. So I'll just write this down as last year. This year, the number of students equals 36% less than what it was the year before, which means I can say that this year the number of students is 350 minus 36%, or I can also write it down as 350 minus 36 over 100. How many students are there in this year's 7th grade? Now remember that this 36% is of this. So in fact, let me just add this as well. 36% of 350, or 36 over 100 of 350. Now before we move on to working out the solution of this question, let's discuss the outlines first, as in how are we really supposed to solve this question. So the first thing that we're required to do is we're required to find 36% of 350. So 36% of 350. And let's just assume that since we don't know what this really is, we will assume that this equals to x for now. The second step therefore is going to be 350 minus x, and that is going to give us our answer. That is it. All it is going to take is 2 simple steps. So let's try and figure out the answer to this question. The first step is to find out 36% of 350. So 36 over 100 multiplied by 350. I hope you remember what we're doing. We've done questions similar to these in an earlier assessment. Let's cancel out both these zeros and we're left with 36 multiplied by 35 over 10. So let me write this down. 36 multiplied by 35 over 10. Let's see what 35 multiplied by 36 is. It's 1260. So 1260 over 10. So we're dividing this number right here by 10, and we have covered this before as well. We've done a whole assessment dealing with division of numbers like these. So let's assume that the decimal in this number is right here, since I can't see it anywhere else. So it's not in between the numbers, it's at the end of the zero. Now if I divide both of these numbers, I know that this decimal point is going to move towards the left, and since there is just 1 0 in 10, it's going to move 1 space towards the left. And if we do that, what we should get is 126.0, and I can do without writing this point and this 0, so I'll just assume that it's 126. So we're done with the first step. Moving on to the second step. Let me draw a line here so that you do not confuse the two. And this. So the second step is really simple. We just need to subtract what we found out from 350. So 350 minus 126. If we take out 100 from 300, we're left with 200, and if we subtract 26 from 50, we're left with 24. So the answer is 224. But let me confirm. 350 minus 126 equals 224. That's correct. How many students are there in this year's 7th grade? There are 224 students in this year's 7th grade.